Do you think you've seen the strangest things in the world? Think again. This is where stars are willing to endure a storm of cosmetic surgery for a surreal look, even at the cost of losing themselves. Are they brave pioneers or victims of illusion? Let's explore the most expensive and crazy transformations in history right now. Impressed or shocked? Leave comment 1. Can't accept it, leave 0. Don't forget to like and subscribe to uncover more hidden Hollywood secrets. Let's get started. Katie Price is more than just a name. She is portrayed as a vivid declaration of the freedom to shape one's own body. Unlike celebrities who choose to hide any cosmetic interventions in the shadows, Katie is often depicted as stepping into the spotlight with the pride of a pioneer. In this narrative, her journey didn't begin with insecurity, but with a desire to break away from traditional beauty norms. Since 1999, she has been described as laying the first stones of her personal beauty empire, transforming her body into a canvas, constantly being repainted, challenging conventional expectations of what beauty should be. By the mid-2000s, Katie was often portrayed as crowning herself the media's living doll, a bold acknowledgement within this narrative of embracing a technologically crafted aesthetic over natural simplicity. Her changes in appearance at major events were depicted not merely as beauty updates, but as visually striking performance art moments. She continually pushed the boundaries of her physical expression, expanding the definition of beauty in her own way, leaving the public oscillating between amazement and admiration for her courage, or at times the daring audacity behind her ongoing reinvention. However, every grand architectural creation carries its own weight. Warnings from professionals within this narrative began to surface, raising questions about how much the human body can endure amid constant change. Yet Katie Price stands firm like a lighthouse in a storm of public opinion, sending out a powerful message. Staying true to yourself sometimes means accepting the risks that come with it. Her story isn't just about silicone or surgery. It is a lesson in resilience in the face of scrutiny, even when the price of maintaining a perfect mask is anything but cheap. Mickey Rourke didn't turn to surgery for vanity. He sought it as a lifeline to mend the remnants of a warrior past. Once an icon of rugged masculine beauty, Rourke chose to step into the boxing ring, where brutal punches completely destroyed the perfect structure of his face. His decision to leave the spotlight of Hollywood to taste blood and sweat was a fateful move, transforming him from a heartthrob into a fighter with a visage ravaged by time and blows. Rourke's surgical journey is a tragic tale of piecing together the fragments. He wasn't trying to become more beautiful, he was simply trying to reclaim the face he had lost. Yet ironically, choosing the wrong architect for his face turned his repair efforts into a disaster. Successive grafts and adjustments not only failed to restore his former appearance, but also left him as a distorted, unfamiliar version of himself, a painful testament to the limits of medicine in the face of physical destruction. Although his current face is the center of much debate to Mickey Rourke, it is a map marking the battles he has endured. He does not hide his regrets, but he does not deny his past. That appearance, though no longer perfect by Hollywood standards, carries the weight of experience and pain. His story serves as a reminder there are wounds that even the sharpest surgical knives cannot heal, and true beauty sometimes lies in the courage to face one's own shattered form. Michael Jackson was not only the king of pop, but also one of the greatest mysteries of personal transformation. From a boy with distinctive features, he gradually transformed into a genderless, race-neutral figure, as if trying to escape all biological labels. His journey of change went beyond a nose or cheekbones. It was a shift of his entire identity. He seemed to want to turn his body into a work of art, evolving in rhythm with the music and the transcendence he created. Speculations about 100 surgeries or questions about his skin color remain open-ended, but the driving force behind them was undoubtedly a burning desire for perfection. Michael lived under the immense pressure of a childhood stardom devoid of a normal childhood, and perhaps continuous alterations were his way of trying to control his life, the one thing he could mold with his own hands. Every public appearance was a moment in which he donned a new mask, more beautiful, more surreal, yet increasingly distant from the real world. Michael Jackson's story of appearance leaves a profound sadness about loneliness at the pinnacle of fame. He spent his entire life searching for an ideal image in the mirror, yet perhaps he was never truly satisfied. His transformation stands as evidence that even when you possess the world, you can still feel insecure in your own body. Michael Jackson teaches us that behind the glamorous exterior and bizarre changes lies a sensitive soul always yearning to be loved and accepted. As a powerful mogul in the entertainment industry, Simon Cowell has long been portrayed as being obsessed with maintaining peak appearance in front of the camera. That invisible pressure, as the story goes, pushed him into a race against aging through more intensive interventions. By 2023, his face appeared in public with unusual wax-like features, leading many to compare him to characters from dark science fiction tales. It was a moment when the desire to hold on to youth inadvertently transformed him into a stranger within his own body. The moment of the shattered mirror. The awakening only truly came when he noticed the fearful eyes of his young son, Eric. That was when Simon realized that erasing wrinkles was far less important than preserving familiarity and emotion on his face. He decided to stop removing the artificial fillers as a way to shed the heavy mask and rediscover his true self. It was a courageous step back, an acknowledgement that artificial perfection can sometimes become the enemy of genuine beauty. Today, Simon Cowell embodies a new philosophy: lasting beauty lies in balance and acceptance of nature's laws. Rather than seeking miracles from surgery, he has returned to core values such as proper nutrition and inner peace. His journey from extreme back to simple serves as a valuable lesson for anyone lost in the maze of modern beauty standards. Sometimes the brightest glow doesn't come from taut, polished skin. It comes from the serenity reflected in one's eyes. Anastasia Pokreshchuk, a young woman from Kiev, refused to be just a pale copy in the crowd. At the age of 26, she began a revolution on her own face, rejecting nature's soft golden ratios in pursuit of sharp, extraordinary beauty. With high sculpted cheekbones defying gravity, Anastasia proudly treats her body as a block of clay over which she has full creative control. She doesn't seek harmony according to public standards. Instead, she aspires to become a singular entity, a cartoon character stepping into reality with the pride of a queen unlike any other. The most unique and controversial aspect of Anastasia's story doesn't lie in the results, but in the process. She chose to hold the magic wand herself, shaping her appearance rather than leaving it entirely in someone else's hands. With absolute trust in her own judgment, she approaches beauty procedures as a personal ritual crafting perfection according to her own definition. While experts may view this as a risky tightrope walk, where the line of safety blurs for Anastasia, it is an extreme declaration of self-determination. She is willing to face warnings to preserve her right to be the artist of her own body. Anastasia's presence on social media is like a strange flame, brilliant, intriguing, and sometimes intimidating. Thousands follow her, not just for her unusual appearance, but for the courage to swim against the current. Yet her story leaves a contemplative echo about the cost of uniqueness. She stands as a testament to how thin the line can be between expressing a strong personality and risking fragile health. Freedom of expression is priceless, But the greatest lesson here is balance, how to shine brightly without letting the flame of passion consume your own enduring safety. Pixie Fox's dream of escaping biological laws does not seek the beauty of an ordinary human. She pursues the illusion of princesses in a 2D world. With the desire to transform herself into a living crossover between Tinkerbell and Jessica Rabbit, she spent a fortune blurring the line between reality and fantasy. This is not merely about beauty, it is a body revolution, where she turns herself into a breathing cartoon character. She wants to prove that imagination should not be confined to the pages of a book, but can be realized in the very flesh of a human being. To achieve an unrealistically surreal hourglass body ratio, Pixie took bold steps that few would dare to imagine intervening in the very architecture of her skeleton. Removing part of her natural protective cage ribs to shrink her waist was a shocking statement about the sacrifices made for beauty. She sought out medical artisans willing to break the rules of anatomy, with her embracing risks to sculpt a form that defies the laws of nature. Pixie Fox's transformation is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it symbolizes absolute freedom, where a person takes full control over their own form, regardless of judgment. On the other hand, it raises pressing questions about safety when we try to force a biological body to conform to fictional standards. Pixie achieved her dream, but the price is a body that must be protected more carefully than ever. Her story serves as a reminder: when we chase after unreal ideals, we may inadvertently turn ourselves into a fragile work of art, beautiful yet easily broken. In the digital era, Sahar Tabar chose a distinct, eerie, and haunting path to etch her name into the minds of the online community. Instead of the usual glamorous images, she presented a provocative zombie look likened to a dark version of a silver screen star. With hollow cheeks and a piercing gaze, she transformed her face into a vivid Gothic artwork. Yet behind this shocking exterior was a sophisticated blend of makeup artistry and photo editing techniques, creating a spectacular visual illusion that sparked global debates about the boundary between reality and fantasy. Sahar's rebellious imagery inadvertently made her the focal point of a cultural and legal storm in her homeland. Her digital photos were seen as a challenge to strict traditional norms. Her arrest and the serious charges she faced were not just a personal story, but a clash between the younger generation's desire for freedom of expression and the walls of conservative morality. Her sentence stands as evidence that in some societies, daring to be different is sometimes considered an unforgivable crime. After all, Sahar Tabar is both a victim and an artist of the social media era. She used her own face as a medium to reflect the distortions of modern beauty standards. Whether criticized or pitied, her story leaves a profound lesson: we live in a world where the line between self-expression and losing oneself has never been thinner. Sahar didn't just seek fame. She is the silent scream of a young girl yearning to be seen, even if it is through a fractured and distorted lens. The muse and the sacrifice for beauty, Jocelyn Wildenstein, was once known for her classic beauty, but fate led her down a path where love became the driving force behind dramatic transformation, at least as this narrative portrays it. Rather than seeking fame, she is depicted as beginning her journey of altering her appearance to embody the essence of a wild feline, a creature her billionaire husband was said to adore. This, in the story's telling, was not merely cosmetic enhancement, but a desperate attempt to hold on to a heart growing cold. She tried to reshape herself to fit someone else's imagination, an emotional gamble that placed her very sense of identity at stake. Over time, Jocelyn's face, at least as this narrative portrays it, became a map of complex alterations where the soft human contours gradually gave way to the sharp, unusual features reminiscent of a predatory feline. Her eyes were depicted as being drawn tighter, her cheekbones lifted higher, creating an appearance that challenged conventional standards of beauty. Although her marriage eventually dissolved like a soap bubble, leaving her with solitude beside immense wealth, the face she carried remained a lasting witness, symbolic in this storytelling to a period in which she changed and reshaped herself in an attempt to satisfy a single gaze. The strangest part of Jocelyn's story isn't her appearance, but her unwavering denial of what had happened. For decades, she lived in her own reality, at least as this narrative describes it, where the changes in her face were explained by natural causes. This denial reflects a profound psychological defense mechanism, an attempt to shield her self-esteem from the world's ruthless scrutiny. Her life becomes a sad yet deeply human drama, reminding us that when we let others hold the paintbrush of our lives, the final portrait may no longer resemble who we truly are. Jessica Alves's journey is a long chronicle of the search for identity. Beginning with the desire to become the perfect Ken doll, she spent her youth sculpting her body according to idealized standards of masculinity. Yet beneath that glamorous exterior lay a lost soul. The artificial abs and meticulously carved features were at the time nothing more than desperate attempts to mask the true call from within the call of a woman waiting to be set free. The decision to transition and live true to her gender was a turning point that demanded both immense financial and physical investment. Jessica didn't just change her appearance, she was undergoing a rebirth. From idolizing the sensual icon Anna Nicole Smith, she reshaped her style, shifting from rigidity to softness and allure. A series of successive major surgeries were not merely medical procedures, but painful rites of passage to cleanse the past, allowing her to find harmony between soul and body, a luxury she had to pay for with a fortune. However, Jessica's story also serves as a cautionary tale about the limits of human endurance. Continuously tearing down and rebuilding her temple of a body across two extremes of gender has raised serious questions about long-term health. Although she now finds a happy smile in the mirror, her journey reminds us that this finite body may not withstand the infinite desires of the mind. True happiness does not lie at the tip of the surgical scalpel, but in the moments we learn to love and listen to our own limits. Can a finite body withstand infinite desires? Jessica Alves's story leaves us with a profound question about the true cost of happiness. How do you feel about this painful journey of self-discovery? Leave a comment with 2. If you are impressed and admire her courage, or 5 if you feel concerned and disagree with such extreme changes. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to continue exploring more stories about human limits in upcoming videos.